Yeah, I thought we saw a very good team out in Lee tonight. Yale's one of the top teams in our league for a reason. I thought in the first half, I thought we came out with a really good mindset. I thought we just didn't take great care of the basketball. So to have 10 turnovers and a half, it's going to be really hard to combat that. Even though we shot the ball okay, to combat 10 turnovers and a half is hard. So we found ourselves down 8 at halftime. Second half, we finished the game with 18 assists, and I just think when you're down to a really good team, it's hard to dig out of that hole. That being said, I thought our guys fought. Came out of one timeout and they just kept fighting. I thought if we had a couple bounces here or there, we could have, really got it down to a couple possessions. We had a chance to do that. But Yale being a good team, they were resilient and they brought it right back to us. I'd say the biggest thing for us now is just for these guys to get rest and be ready to go for tomorrow. We got a very good Brown team coming into our gym, and we have to be ready to attack them in different ways, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, just question for Connor to start it off. The second half was definitely frustrating, but you definitely elevated your game, grabbed 11 points in that second half. So, what was going on differently that kind of opened it up for you?
I don't know if there's anything different. It was more just we a lot of our guys on the team play the right way, so it's like everyone plays the right way. So shots are gonna come. Everyone takes open shots. So I took the ones that were open in the second half. There just happened to be a few more open shots in the second half, and I think I did a good job of pushing it in transition on some of those buckets. So uh, yeah, so whenever I get a rebound and can push it, it looks good too. So I definitely need to try to rebound more. Um, but yeah, I think that those are probably the main things.
But defensively, it started to slip away a little bit. What do you think was going wrong in those defensive possessions that really helped you kind of get out of reach?
Yeah, I mean, one thing for me personally, I definitely need to do a better job defeating ball screens. That's been something that has been something that I've been needing to keep getting better at. And I go and I watch film with the coaches, Coach Trotter, Coach Mack, and we talk about it in different ways that I could improve that. So I'm just gonna keep trying to improve on that. And I think if I do a better job at the point of the attack, then it'll help take them out of what they want to do.
Question for Anton. Yale brought a lot of size today. They were backing you guys down into the post. I mean, as a defender, as a center, someone who's in the paint, what does that mean for them to kind of take the battle to you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big emphasis in practice this week. It's just physicality, and I appreciate the coaches for pushing me in practice and getting me ready for tonight, and just doing my best to go at these guys. They're two very talented, big, physical kids, so doing my best to shut them down, rebound, and push on.
Yeah, but it felt like sometimes you were doing a good job, but then it was opening up looks on the perimeter. So do you know what was going on there?
I mean, I trust my teammates, and sometimes there's going to be lapses in defense, but just keeping the energy up, pushing through those mistakes, and when the game's not going our way, staying strong, staying steady, and bouncing back.
Just in terms of either of you can answer this, like, after a loss like this, you've got a really quick turnaround to Brown tomorrow. What is the message? Not a lot of time to kind of prepare.
I guess I'll start. I think the big thing is just getting rest, eating well, getting hydrated, and just it's in the past. Not trying to focus on it too much, and just we have a good team coming in tomorrow, and do our best to take them down.
Yeah, with the back-to-back, I definitely agree with that. Rest is huge right now. We have a very good team coming in here tomorrow, so preparing for that now. But then, after that, we definitely have things to learn from. And, we see we need to get better in different areas. And we're hoping that, one game at a time, of course. But we hope to, see them again down the road in the Ivy tournament. So we see that there's, some room that we need to make up and things that we need to get better at. So we will definitely be placing emphasis on that as well. I think the coaches did a great job preparing us this week. Practices were intense, and I do think we got a little better this week. But we just got to keep getting better for sure.
Questions for the student student athletes from Connor. What do they do so well offensively? Obviously, they make a lot of shots. But is there anything else that they do offensively that throws everybody off?
I think they're, a good rebounding team as well. Offensive rebounds hurt us a little bit. They're physical. They have a lot of good players. So they set hard screens. So just little things that we need to sharpen up. I need to do better defeating ball screens. But yeah, they just have a lot of good players, and they're very disciplined. They're a good team.
I guess for Anton, this is the best team in the Ivy right now, and you're out on the floor for a serious amount of minutes. What does that say about the coaching staff and the guys around you to give you that responsibility?
I mean, I appreciate the coaches and everyone around me to just trust me and put so much trust into me. It's hard as a first year, going at them every day in practice, and just it's not easy. But they help me out a lot, and when it comes to game time, doing the right things that they teach me and watching film and just trying to apply everything.
You guys are good too. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, questions for Coach?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there were a couple big runs there from Yale in the second half. I mean, you guys weathered one, fought back a little bit, and they came just right back at you. What does it say about, I guess, the stuff you need to work on that these runs happen?
Yeah, it all depends on the run, right? What happened during that run? I thought for the most part, especially in the second half, I thought we got to some good looks. We shot over 50% from the floor. We did a lot of good things. They were making shots. They were really clicking tonight. Yale was, and part of that is some resistance or lack of resistance on our end at times. But you got to really make them miss. They just don't miss, right? So you have to make them miss, and I thought we didn't do a great job of that. Maybe getting them out of position, maybe having the different guy take a shot in a different position. I thought, they're an incredibly disciplined team. Coach Jones done a great job with that group, and they really get the ball where they want to get it, and they find the mismatch on a consistent basis, and they take advantage of that. So when runs happen, you're playing against a disciplined team, right? You got to stop that run by, really force them into poor decisions, and they just really made calculated decisions tonight.
As you're looking forward, obviously you're going to play a totally different animal tomorrow night. I mean, it's a big game. How do you regroup in 24 hours? You've done it before, obviously. What's the thought the next 22 hours? What do we got?
Yeah, and we've already talked about them this week. That's one, right? So you don't spend every single day on Yale during the week. We've done it before this year. We've played back-to-back games before. One on the road, and earlier in the year was a Saturday, Monday, Martin Luther King Monday. But it's that talk about that. Just as in the locker room, that was a message. We got a lot of things we got to learn from this game, but the most important thing is to bounce back tomorrow. So guys will get some food, get some rest, and just be ready to attack it tomorrow, because really nobody really cares if you're tired, right? No one cares that you lost, and if you have problems, 80% of the people don't care, and 20% of the people are glad you haven't, right? So it's just like you got to be ready to go, and that's what we talked to the guys about.
I mean, you were a team that made the Ivy League tournament last year. That's the kind of standard for this year. You've lost 4 of your last 5 games, all of them coming by double digits. I mean, I guess my question is, how are you refocusing, not just for the game against Brown, but collectively as a unit, starting to look at yourselves and reflecting?
Yeah, you do a lot of. We've done a lot of reflecting midway through the year, right after the first half of the season. You do a complete review, you do a dive, and you just got to get ready for the next opponent. That's the most important thing. So there's some things we need to do better on both sides of the ball, and we've talked about that with the guys. And I agree with what they said. I thought we did have a good week of preparation. I thought the guys responded to the coaching that we gave them. I thought it was very competitive. We just didn't play well enough tonight to win, and again, it goes back to the most important thing. It's just we got to execute and play well tomorrow.
I have one for you, Coach. We've had this conversation before about Anton. I mean, he comes in at moments, creates space, creates points for you guys. Can you talk about just the role that he's taken on in his performance so far?
Yeah, you bring someone off the bench that gives you a little bit of a post presence. That's a good thing, and it hasn't been the easiest path for him. He was really, really far down the bench earlier in the year, and I think when he started to understand the standard that he had to see, that we wanted to see from him every day, and we need to continue to see from him every day. He's not even close to where he's going to be as a player, not even close, and he still has a lot of work to do, and he'll have some ups and downs as the year goes along, more ups and downs, but I'm pleased with the progress he's made so far.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Coach. Have a great day.
Yeah.